Coming out of turns 3 and 4. Chad White on the bottom. William Duff on the top. Checkered flag in the air. Who's going to win? It's William Duff. No, look out. He just junked it. Look out. Oh, my God. World's #1 streaming service. Hutchinson Motorsports TV. On the call tonight. On your feet. Off your seats. It's about to go green.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to some Stars and Stripes action live here tonight. Tuesday night stream for some Homestead Miami Speedway action. We got the South Beach 200 on tap for you here tonight. Practice is wrapping up as we speak. As you watch all the cars disappear, that's because qualifying is getting ready to go down here at Homestead. Connor Gerard in the chat already. Fantastic to see you out here, my friend. And you're going to be one of the first people to see a sneak peek of something that I don't know even how this is going to look or, you know, how good it will be. Let's give this a shot. Let's see what pops up here. Yeah, baby, we got practice results on the screen. The look of this will change over time, but you can see Ross Tatum quickest out of everybody in practice, followed by Josh Robinson and Scott Rickard, the GOAT himself. Brian Pashimi, Dylan Grimm, Chad White, Tom Ogle, Kyle McCoy, Bryce Barfield, Gavin Salyer. Gonna round out your top 10. As we hop on board, or look at the 93 here at JT Tinker as he starts his qualifying effort. One of the key players in last week's race at Talladega, was a big-time pusher. Connor says, I saw this yesterday, but I honestly love it. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Blake was able to get it going or not. Good to know that he was able to. Of course, I'm normally on the track Monday nights. I don't know if anybody missed me out there or not. Had a lot going on. Ended up not racing. Let's pull up our board here right now. JT Tinker near the bottom of the board. He's still got another lap to go here. Scott Rickard takes the top spot for now. We'll see if that sticks. 6 people tuned in already as the sun is setting here in Florida. JT Tinker in that 93 hits the stripe. Is he going to improve his time on his second lap? He does, but up to 6th. Kyle McCoy in the top spot at the moment. Coming around turns 3 and 4 to finish his second lap. But Griffin Salyer in the number 2 takes the top spot. Scott Rickard gets ahead of the 7 of McCoy. We'll see if McCoy can take the top spot back here at the end of his second lap. And he does. But McCoy back on the pole spot right now. Let's check out who else we've got out here. William Duff, the 4th. And that's 17. He's currently 12th on the board, but he's finishing up his second lap now as he heads into turns 3 and 4. And boy, Homestead is beautiful in the background. The beautiful sunset going on as we race into the night. William Duff across the stripe. Gets up to 9th, so not too terrible for William Duff. Give me just 1 second here, folks. Changing a couple settings around. Shouldn't be no big deal. 37 of Bryce Barfield. Out here making his second lap. Looking to make his way towards the top 10. Right now he's sitting in 13th. Connor says, yesterday was crazy, Jesse. I'm going to have to check it out. If I would have raced, I probably could have made my way a little farther in the playoffs, but was not to be. The 37 across the stripe jumps up to 5th. It's a top 5 spot for now for the 37 of Bryce Barfield. But don't look now. Trey Jackson in that number 5. He's coming out of turn 4. Currently sitting in 8th. What's it going to be across the line? He's one of the few people that does not improve on his second lap. He's going to be sitting in 8th place for now. But Tom Ogle in this beautiful White Claw machine here His Ford Mustang. He's sitting in that 16th spot. We'll see if he can make his way a little farther up the board. Across the stripe for Tom Ogle, fueled by White Claw. Makes his way up to 10th, so top 10 for now for Tom Ogle. Jason Grattan in the number 46 machine. He's out here making a qualifying effort. Gavin Salyer in the 18. He jumps up to the 8th spot. One of the two Salyer brothers. Josh Robinson jumps to 12th. Jason Grattan across the stripe jumps to 19th. Let's watch Josh Robinson in that 30. He was second fastest in practice. First lap puts him in 12th. Let's see if he can get up the board. Potentially knock the 24 Brian Lynch out of the top 10 here in qualifying. Oh, he actually ran out of time. The 30 not going to get another time on the board. First lap going to have to be what it is for the 30 of Josh Robinson. Let's check out a different theme here. Let's go with the stealth. Let's check out the qualifying results. Kyle McCoy, number 1. Spider-Man 2 on the car with a 33.211. Griffin Salyer, second with a 33.263. And Scott Rickard, once again, in the 3rd spot in practice and in qualifying. Ross Tatum, Bryce Barfield, your top 5. But you're about to get ready to hear the whole starting grid here in just a moment. Won't take long at all. 29 cars signed in here tonight. And we're going to see all sorts of action on the track, all sorts of different lines. People driving this way, that way. We should get ourselves a shot towards the track. Again, thanks each and every one of you for tuning in here tonight to some Stars and Stripes action here at Homestead. The South Beach 200. And folks, it's time to get your starting grid underway. As always, here we got to bring in the tunes for the starting grid, folks. And we pull it up now. Starting row number 1. It's going to be the 7 of Kyle McCoy with the pole position. To his outside is going to be the 2 of Griffin Salyer. Row number 2, the 05, the GOAT, Scott Rickard. To his outside, the 21, Little Debbie Machine of Ross Tatum. Row number 3, you have the 37 of Bryce Barfield. To his outside, the Pepsi of Kyle Bowling, the 44 there. Row number 4 is the 23 of Dylan Grimm. To his outside, the 18 of Gavin Salyer. Row number 5 is the 5 of Trey Jackson and the 24 of Brian Lynch. Row number 6, fueled by White Claw, it's Tom Ogle in the 11. To his outside, Josh Robinson in the 30. Row number 7 has the 1 of Will Bustler and the 9 of Zach Kreitz. Row number 8 is the 69 Ben Shepard. Next to him, the 36 of Chad White. Row number 9 is the 88 of Timmy McNally and the 17, William Duff the 4th. Row number 10 is the 46 of Jason Grattan and the 25 of Nate Lynch. Row number 11 is the 93 of JT Tinker and the 3 of Ryan Lynch. Row number 12 is the 77 of Larry Griffin III and the 63 of Aaron Poplin. Row number 13 is the 39 of Doug Pish and the GOAT, the 35 of Blake Hutchinson. Row number 14 is Logan Fastchishin. Next to him, Brian Pachimi. And is finally in off. Row number 15, Josh Grattan. Pace car is in. We're getting ready to drop the hammer for the first time tonight. South Beach 200 goes green. Kyle McCoy, Griffin Salyer lead the way into turn 1. Scott Rickard looks to capitalize a little bit on the bottom. We'll see if he can make his way forward early. Nothing happening yet, though. McCoy going to cover up that lead spot as the field follows their way onto the backstretch. No wrecking happening yet. We'll have to wait and see. Connor says, let the madness happen tonight. We'll have to wait and see if it will. A battle for the lead early. Kyle McCoy, Scott Rickard side by side across the stripe to finish lap number 1. McCoy hangs on to the lead, but for how long? Scott Rickard to the bottom. McCoy gives up the lead to Rickard on lap number 2. Expect these two to be battling all night. Definitely perennial front runners here in Stars and Stripes, side by side in a turn 3. Behind them, it's side by side for Griffin Salyer and Ross Tatum. Bryce Barfield looking to find his way into the mix as well. Kyle McCoy to the lead now. You're going to see many different lanes being used here tonight. You can use the top, the middle, the bottom. Just kind of depends on your preference. 133 laps on tap here tonight. At minimum, it's going to be a 2-stop race when it comes to fuel. So if this thing stays green, you're going to see these guys at least come down pit road 2 times. Right now, Kyle McCoy, Scott Rickard, Ross Tatum, 1, 2, and 3. You got a battle for the 4th spot. That's going to be between Bryce Barfield and Griffin Salyer, but looks like Bryce is going to take that spot. Dylan Grimm is settled into 6th. Kyle Bowling 7th. Gavin Salyer 8th. Trey Jackson 9th. Tom Ogle in 10th. And we got a bumper going to the back of the 37. Bryce Barfield. The 2 is sliding sideways. Dylan Grimm gets into him. The 37 of Barfield is wrecking. And we've got action for the first time tonight. Barfield gets it straightened out. But it all started with his back bumper. Let's go to the Harpoon Designs blimp and see exactly how this went down, although I have a pretty good idea already. Yeah, it looks like the 2, it's going to be, of course, Griffin Salyer, comes in a little hot to the corner, gets into the back bumper of that 37 of Bryce Barfield. Let's get a little closer look. You can see they get on the backstretch fine, and it's a pretty decent gap here between the 2. And then I'll have to guess Griffin just didn't expect Bryce to slow down as much as he did. Dylan Grimm gets involved. The 18 also involved. That's Gavin getting caught up in the other Salyer's mess as well. The rest of the field gets through pretty unscathed. And we got our first yellow of the night. Only a handful of laps in on lap 5. A couple of folks entering pit lane. You had Dylan Grimm, Chad White, Timmy McNally, Ben Shepard, Nate Lynch, and Logan Festchishin, among others, hitting pit lane. Most of the front of your field stays out. So a lot of people potentially taking fuel here, trying to make the strategies differ a little bit, but the front of your field saying the 5 laps is way too early to come down pit road, and I have to agree with them. Ten people tuned in. Thanks for coming out with us tonight here for some Stars and Stripes action. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified every single time that we have a new stream pop up. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Glad to be on the call with you here tonight. Man that used to normally be on the call for Stars and Stripes right here in the field, Blake Hutchinson. Sitting in that 17th spot right now. Started in 26, so he's up 9 spots early. A lot of that's due to people in front of him pitting, though. But I got to be honest, Blake has been putting some practice laps in. He's trying to show some people that he's got some talent here in these Xfinity cars. But it's going to be a long road to go because here in Stars and Stripes, well, you got to, if you're a rookie, you can't qualify for, I believe it's the first 5 races or something like that. If anyone in the chat does know the rules, they can correct me if they feel like. But I do believe that to be the case. You'll have to let me know if that radio came through over the stream. It looked like it might have, and it's not supposed to. Okay, maybe it isn't coming through over the stream. But pace car is off for the second time as we get ready to go back green flag racing here in Stars and Stripes. Kyle McCoy, Scott Rickard lead the field to green once again. Going to be side by side into turn number 1. Dylan Grimm of the 23, kind of surprised to see him stay out. Must be hoping that the front end damage that could be on that 23 Toyota Supra not going to be enough to hold him back here. They're side by side all throughout the back of the field. Hopefully everybody gets through clean and green, but we still have a battle between these two. Here in the front of the field. You know, I released a Hutchinson Motorsports TV power rankings, I believe, on Saturday. Scott Rickard top of the board as far as Stars and Stripes drivers go. No surprise to anybody. I mean, he just won a championship and comes out last week and sneaks his way into a win at Talladega. I mean, he was the last name you could think was going to win the race when you were watching it. But he certainly found a way to do it. Scott Rickard currently sitting in that second spot. Let's take a look through your field at some of these other battles. You got JT Tinker and Blake Hutchinson battling it out. Going to be for 15th. Tinker sends it in on the I side a little bit deeper than the 35 of Hutchinson does. Looks like that's going to settle out, and the 93 might be setting his sights on moving forward. Yes, he does. He's going to try to get under the 69 of Ben Shepherd, and he gets that pass done. So JT Tinker on the move early. Let's check out your HMS TV hard chargers, and Blake Hutchinson himself top of the board. Well, tied with the 46 of Jason Gratton, but both of those guys up 10 spots here early. Roy Pawelski in the chat. Probably pronounced that wrong. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to some Homestead Miami action here for Stars and Stripes. Kyle McCoy leads the way with Scott Rickard and Ross Tatum chasing him down. It's going to be a 3-car breakaway here in the front of the field on lap number 12. Your top 18 cars have stayed out so far. Once you hit 19th, Brian Pashimi has hit pit road. I imagine not for fuel only, possibly. It looks like all those other guys that came down pit road, Gavin Salyer, Bryce Barfield, Brian Lynch. Looks like those guys were coming in for repairs. Let's see if we can show you here. Tom Ogle, he had to make 47 seconds of repairs. Brian Lynch, 35 seconds. Ryan Lynch, 27. Griffin Salyer, Bryce Barfield, Gavin Salyer, about 20 seconds each or so. And we've got side-by-side action for second. Kyle McCoy out of Morrison, Illinois. He's under pressure now from the 21 of Ross Tatum, who's on the bottom. He's going to get the pass done. Ross Tatum up to second. We'll have to watch and see if he can reel in Scott Rickard, but hold on a second. Kyle McCoy isn't giving that spot up yet. He finds his way to the bottom now. Side by side still for second. Give me just 1 second, folks. Sorry about this, folks. Got something going on here in the room with me. Give me just 1 second. All right, my apologies. Back with you here, folks. as they get settled out here in the lead. We take a look back here at the 6th spot. Will Bustler in that number 1. He was in the front of the field a whole lot of the time at Talladega for the season opener. He's trying to get into the top 10 now. He's got Dylan Grimm in that 23 in front of him. Will Bustler's got some teammates out there. Ross Tatum, side-by-side racing. Up there in second, having a good race so far. Side-by-side for that 5th spot, as mentioned, Will Bustler takes that spot from the 23 of Grimm, and it looks like the 30 of Josh Robinson looking to follow through and make his way forward as well past that 23 of Grimm. You got to wonder if there's any damage on the front end of that 23 that could be hindering him a little bit. He did have some contact in that first caution. He's running the high side. He seems like he's kind of lonely up there. A lot of these drivers being bottom feeders at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out for anybody. Drop back a little bit more. Griffin Salyer, of course, was running up near the front of the field. He's trying to get by the 8 of Josh Gratton. Make his way back forward after losing all those spots because of that wreck. He's got some work ahead of him, though. Finds himself in that 26th spot right now. We've got a battle for the lead. Ross Tatum, 21, dives underneath the 05 of Scott Rickard. Finds his way to the lead. Ross Tatum out of Stewart. Don't know Stewart where, but his hometown is Stewart. So all the people in Stewart standing up and cheering for the 21 of Ross Tatum. Scott Rickard doesn't look like he wants to give it up yet. He does peak to the bottom, but does not appear to be able to get it done. And for the most part throughout this field, we're single file right now. I will say, it looks like these top 3, at least early on, are definitely the ones to watch. They've found a way to break away from everybody else. I mean, it's about a second gap or more back to that 44 Kyle Bowling, who's made his way into the 4th spot, and they're side by side for second. McCoy trying to get past Rickard now. Connor Gerard, big fan of that Spider-Man paint on the 7. See if we can get a close-up shot of that number 7 of Kyle McCoy here. It's definitely a sharp-looking ride. The 21 of Ross Tatum leads on lap 21 of 133. You've got 2 different 3-car packs at the front of your field. Ross Tatum, Kyle McCoy, Scott Rickard leading the way. Behind them, you've got Kyle Bowling, Will Bustler, Josh Robinson all in a group. And then once you get back behind those guys, it's kind of just all spread out. Dylan Grimm falling back fast. He's getting past now. For that 11th spot, Timmy McNally in the 88 gets by him. JT Tinker looks to as well, although looked like the 88 might have pulled the parachute there into the turn. JT Tinker had to check up just a little bit, but he's still going to get the pass done. The 23 is struggling right now. Dylan Grimm falling back fast. 17 of William Duff. I got to tell you, when they were painting that car, whoever was putting the decals on it must have been drunk. Because look at the number placement on this thing. Especially on this driver's side, that thing's about in the floor. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but that's how it is. William Duff, Mooresville, North Carolina. Sitting in that 13th spot. Might need a little bit of help with the paint job. Connor Gerard in the chat says, what is that 17 paint? I don't quite know. Look out here. Kyle McCoy looks for the lead. He goes to the bottom, getting by the 21 Ross Tatum, or at least trying to. They battle side by side through turns 3 and 4, head towards the stripe, and the sun starting to set here in Homestead. Racing into the night. Had a beautiful sunset for qualifying, I gotta say. I almost would have liked it if they would have started the race about when they started qualifying. If we had that beautiful sunset for the first good half of this race into the night, then that would have been really cool. But it was not to be. Bit of a battle brewing for the 12th spot. You got Brian Pachimi in that 78. He's up 16 spots now in this race. And 4 wide back here behind him. Holy smokes. It's Larry Griffin, Dylan Grimm, Logan Festchishin, among others, scrapping here. Nate Lynch is the other one there. The 25 is definitely getting sketchy. The 34, Logan Festchishin. It says Brockport, New York. He wants everybody out there to know that that's not the case. He is now a North Carolinian. So all of you North Carolina folks watching that don't like it when New Yorkers moved down here, y'all can all yell at Logan Festchishin because he did it. Battle for 5th between the 30 of Robinson and the 1 of Will Bustler. Robinson gets the spot and stays in the top 5. And Dylan Grimm continues to fall. He's down 15 spots from where he qualified. I think the 23 of Grimm has to have some damage there on that machine, because if not, there's definitely something else going on. Connor in the chat says, ask me what my favorite Spider-Man movie is. It's a really good question. And y'all, you might hate this answer, but I like the more recent ones with Tom Holland. And I think Homecoming was a pretty good movie, if I'm being honest with you. All Chevys in your top 5, front of your field. Bryce Barfield hits pit lane in the 37. Out of McDonough, Georgia. We'll have to see what the strategy is here for Bryce Barfield. I do believe if he pits now and fills up, that he can make the rest of the race in one stop. So that could be what he's thinking here, to be the first to get fresh Goodyear rubber out of anybody. But we're 30 laps in, folks. And we've got another battle for the lead. Kyle McCoy ripping the wall. He's on the Larson line to take over this lead. We'll see if he can do it. He's going to lead across the stripe. Ross Tatum going to have to slide into that second spot and give it up. As we take a look at your lap leaders, Kyle McCoy's led the most. But Ross Tatum right there with him. 13 for McCoy, 12 for Tatum, 6 for Rickard. We take a look who your fastest over the last 5 laps are. It's the man there in the lead, McCoy, who's been the quickest out of anybody. Josh Robinson, though, in P4, he's trying to make his way forward. He's second quickest in your last 5 laps. With 32 laps down, we're getting ready to head into some pit strategy. But before that, we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night. Thank you for everybody tuning in. 13 people watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Don't go anywhere because we're going HMS TV side by side.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
I just heard a thing. And we're back live here from South Beach. Homestead, Miami, the South Beach 200. We just came back. We were watching an incredible battle for the 10th spot. Brian Pachimi takes over that spot from Chad White. Chad was fighting the good fight, though. They went back and forth about 6 or 7 times for that spot. Logan Festich and Larry Griffin just got over a battle for 17th. But now Logan Festich sets his sight on teammate and team owner Blake Hutchinson just in front of him in 16th. Blake is the GOAT on the mic. He's up 10 spots here tonight from where he started back in 26th. So he's making his way forward, albeit slowly, but he's doing it. Josh Gretton in that Nesquik machine. He's trying to get by the 77 of Larry Griffin. He's going to cover that spot up, but Larry Griffin going to cross him over. Go to the bottom of the track. Connor Gerard says, surprised that Chad is still hired. I think Chad's surprised himself every time that he scans his badge and it lets him into the team shop. Probably expects every day for it to be not working anymore, but we look at this battle for 14th between Timmy McNally and Ben Shepard. There's little micro battles all over the track. Trying my best to keep an eye on them all to give you the action best I can. Kyle McCoy leads the way over Ross Tatum, Scott Rickard. Josh Robinson, he's made up some ground on these front runners, sitting in 4th. Will Bustler has followed him. It's going to be your 5th spot there. We take a look at your HMS TV hard chargers. Brian Pachimi sitting in that 10th spot. He's up 18 spots. 43 laps into this race. The 78 of Brian Pachimi is flying forward. Jason Gratton and Josh Gratton up 13 and 11 spots respectively. Jason has made his way up to 6th, and Josh back here in 18th, making his way forward. Blake Hutchinson and Logan Festitian here in 16th and 17th, up 10 spots. We've got pit stops happening. The 23 of Dylan Grimm and the 25 of Nate Lynch in for their service here under the green flag. On lap 44, I'd expect to see a lot of guys start coming down pit road here soon. There might be a few people that decide to try to run it long just in case there is a yellow. But I don't feel like there will be. There's always the chance, though. Side by side for 16th, going to be between Josh Gratton and Logan Festitian. Looks like Josh going to continue moving forward and cover that spot up. Actually, I think he had the spot and Logan was trying to take it from him, if I'm being honest. But look at Gavin Salyer. He's trying to make his way past these two. He's side by side with the 34 of Festitian now. Gavin Salyer out of Richwood, Ohio. Don't look now up front. Josh Robinson trying to hold off Will Bustler. That's for 4th. Bustler absolutely sends it on the bottom and gets by the 30 of Robinson. Logan Festitian calling out that he's pitting.
Petting.
Makes his way onto pit road, along with Blake Hutchinson, Larry Griffin, Brian Lynch, among others. Looks like everybody that's hit pit road so far, 4 fresh tires and Goodyear, or 4 fresh Goodyears and some Sunoco Racing fuel. Kyle McCoy, Ross Tatum, Scott Rickard, your top 3 all night, yet to pit. I will say the GOAT, Scott Rickard, he's kind of slipped back now from Kyle McCoy and Ross Tatum. He's under some heat from the one of Will Bustler now. Bustler trying to make his way into the 3rd spot. Will Bustler out of Virginia, side-by-side racing team member. And Ross Tatum, he's hit pit road, so he's the first out of your top 3 to hit pit road as the 21 of Tatum. Will that cause Kyle McCoy or Scott Rickard to hit pit lane? We'll have to watch and see. Will the 7 come down? Or will he let the 21 get the undercut? Looks like he's going to. Kyle McCoy stays out, as well as Scott Rickard. I will say majority of the field has hit pit lane by this point. Your top 15 have stayed out so far on this green run. So not quite a majority have hit pit lane yet. My apologies. Chad White, the latest to enter pit road. As these pit cycle starts here, I believe we'll see everybody hit pit road probably by around lap 55 or 60 is probably about the max that some of these guys will be able to push it. If it had stayed green from the start, I believe the pit window would have started about lap 53 would be the max people could go. Being that we had the caution on lap 5, it extends that window just a little bit with the pace laps. Kyle McCoy does hit pit lane in the number 7. Got some more pitting here. Josh Gratton on the radio.
Pitting, 8 is pitting.
Apologies if you hear the dog in the background. She's getting excited. She loves a good race, especially from here at Homestead. More reports of drivers hitting pit lane.
5 pitting. '93 pitting.
Will Bustler continues to stay out. Five drivers left on this strategy. Looks like Will Bustler going to come down now. Let's Josh Robinson in the 30 take over the lead, followed by Scott Rickard in the 5, or the 05, my apologies. Brian Pashimi back here in the 78. Those are your only 3. Oh, sorry, there's 4 that have stayed out. Tom Ogle in the 11 has also stayed out during this run. You got 4 drivers left to hit pit lane on lap 54. I imagine they'll be coming any minute now. Again, 14 people tuned in tonight. Thank you for watching. As we're having a fun race here from Homestead, Miami. Pit stop strategy in full effect here on this long green flag run. Who do we have now pitting? It's going to be Tom Ogle.
11 pitting, 11 pitting.
Josh Robinson continues to toggle the laps. Scott Rickard in the 05 hits pit lane. That leaves Josh Robinson and Brian Pashimi the only ones yet to pit. The 21 of Ross Tatum leads the way of the cars that have hit pit road, and I mean, he's in a land by his own. Kyle McCoy is almost 3.5 seconds back from the 21 of Ross Tatum right now. So once this pit cycle completes, 21 of Tatum's going to have a huge lead over everybody. Josh Robinson hits pit road.
30 pitting, 30 pitting.
And Connor has noticed, yes, a little bit of radioactive. I've been working on something to get some radio through the stream without, of course, the stream being able to hear everything. Once I get it officially put together, there might be more details on that. As of right now, I'm pretty much the only one that has it. He's kind of testing it out, seeing how it works. '78 of Brian Pashimi. He's going to have to hit pit road any lap now. He did come down on lap 5 and fuel up, but that's only going to last him so long as he ends up 3 wide with the 88 and the 35. It's Blake Hutchinson and Timmy McNally getting their laps back here. When will Brian Pashimi pit road? It's not going to be this lap. I mean, he's on the high line. We don't need another Ty Dillon moment. I believe it was Ty Dillon. Correct me if I was wrong. Whenever William Byron absolutely smoked him. For some reason, Griffin Salyer just towed to pit lane. It says he entered pit lane and then jumped to pits. I'm not sure what that's about. He might be done for the night. We'll have to keep an eye on the situation for Griffin Salyer in that number 2. Currently sitting in last right now. Will Bustler just got by the 69 of Ben Shepard. That's going to be for the top 5. Bustler making his way forward, one of your later cars to hit pit lane. So he's got the freshest tires out of your front group. Will this be the lap that Brian Pashimi hits pit lane? It looks like it will be. He hits the apron. Gets that 78 machine woed down. That's going to let the 21 Ross Tatum take the lead back over. Kyle McCoy has been gaining on the 21 of Tatum, but he's still 2 seconds back at this point. Connor Gerard says, not a good day for the 2. Not a good day indeed. It sucks when you're 61 laps in. There's only been 1 wreck and you've been part of it. It's kind of a bit deflating. Let's go ahead and walk through your field right now, as we're at a bit of a slow point. Ross Tatum in the 21, as mentioned, he continues to lead the way out of Stewart. Sitting in that second spot. Kyle McCoy out of Morrison, Illinois, he's sitting in that second spot. Connor Gerard's favorite paint scheme of the night. 46 of Jason Gratton's made his way into the top 3. Out of Pittsfield, Illinois, he sits in 3rd spot. Mario on the helmet for the 46. Somebody get this man a sponsor. He shows up every week. Looks like the number on the car is put on there with fluorescent, or I don't know if that's even the word. Looks like it's some yellow duct tape on the car. No sponsor to be seen on the thing. Somebody sign this man to a deal. Will Bustler, we've been talking about him a lot the last 2 days. Or last 2 races, I'm sorry. Sitting in that 4th spot. Trey Jackson finds himself in 5th. And holy smokes, look at this mess behind him. Ben Shepard holds the 6th spot, but for how long? Kyle Bowling in the 44 sends it on the bottom. He takes that 6th spot over. Scott Rickard, the GOAT, follows Bowling through into 7th. Chad White gets into 8th. The 69 of Ben Shepard just lost 3 spots in 1 corner. Not good for the 69, although he is still up from where he started this race. Sitting in the 9th spot and rounding out your top 10. Another sponsorless ride. It's going to be Josh Robinson to that number 30. At least he's got some color to the car, though. It's not just black. He's got that at least going for him. As we look back at your leader in that 21. Never mind that. We've got battles back here. Blake Hutchinson, Gavin Salyer side by side for 16th. Gavin going to take that spot over. Behind them, they're side by side. It was Josh Gratton and Brian Lynch. Gratton takes the spot for now. We'll see how long it lasts. Connor Gerard in the chat what's my Super Bowl prediction? That's a tough one. If I had to guess, let's see, we've got Rams, Patriots, Broncos, and Seahawks. I mean, the way that the way the Seahawks just beat the dog shit out of the 49ers, I think they're going to be the team from the NFC for sure. I don't know. The Rams seem to win games that they shouldn't, though. But I'm going to go Seahawks, Patriots, because I mean, I don't know if Jarrett Stidham's gonna do the thing for the Broncos or not. Probably not. So I'm going Seahawks, Patriots. And I think it'd be funny. I think it'd just be genuinely funny to see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl. So I'm going Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. We'll see if that actually happens. Of course, I'm a Panthers fan. They end up eliminated. So then I was a Bears fan along with a Bills fan. Because Blake Hutchinson's a fan of the Bears. Logan Fashishkin a fan of the Bills. So I was rooting on their teams. Of course, Bears lost in a spectacular fashion. Caleb Williams must have sold his soul to the devil or something, because I don't know how he makes the plays that he does. I don't know how he gets away with some of the shit he pulls off, but that game was crazy. And then, well, the Bills game, just, I don't know, man. You just feel bad for the Bills a little bit. At least I do. Feel bad for Josh Allen. But I don't know. I'd say the better team won, but I don't really know if that was the case. But it was definitely a good game. They did it to themselves. They turned the ball over way too much. So we tune back into the action here. Kyle McCoy's gotten by Ross Tatum for the lead. That happened about 2 laps ago while we were chit-chatting about the NFL. But McCoy takes your lead back over. Let's go ahead and show you folks at home pit stop stats for your top 10. Kyle McCoy only has 18 laps on his tires, but he got 4 tires down pit road. Everybody in your top 10 did. Oldest tires out of everybody's Ross Tatum, so he might start to slip back as we get farther in this run, but look for some other people like Josh Robinson, Scott Rickard, some of those cars that have fewer laps on their tires. Watch for them to start to make their way forward here, as they've got the freshest rubber. Battle back here, Larry Griffin III and JT Tinker scrapping it out side by side. JT out of Charlotte, North Carolina, in that Liquid Death machine. JT's always had some of the most beautiful paints and a legendary number font. Looks like it was drawn in MS Paint. Oh, door banging behind him. Gavin Sawyer and Larry Griffin banging doors a little bit. Everybody gets out unscathed. Griffin's kind of slipping back. He was one of your cars to pit real early in that last run, and it's starting to bite him in the butt. His tires are older than everybody else's. Look at Gavin Sawyer ripping the wall. He's way up there. That was pretty cool. Connor Gerard says he's a Dolphins fan, and the only thing he can be happy about is the fact that my team beat the Bills once. Yeah. Man, y'all done fired your coach. He might not have been a great coach, but I absolutely loved Mike McDaniel's personality. So I hope he continues to have a job somewhere in the NFL. That dude is hilarious. We'll take him. We'll take him in Carolina as like the offensive coordinator or something. That sounds like it'd be fun. Dylan Grimm going a lap down. Kyle McCoy gets by him. No changes in your top 10 within the last handful of laps. Honestly, no real changes in your top 15 outside of Brian Pashimi. Just continues to make his way forward. He just recently got by the 17 of William Duff there in 13th. Connor says 49ers were overkill by the Seahawks. Yeah. I didn't tune into that game, and I was glad I didn't once I saw what the final score was, because golly, that was a bit of an old-fashioned whooping. Let's go ahead and check in on some of our teams out here. Side-by-side racing. I'm assuming that's what it is. Ross Tatum, Will Bustler, second and third. They're having a great run here tonight. Jason Gratt in the lead car for Green-White Checkered Racing. Zach Kreitz in 10th. Josh Gratton in 17th. Team Miata is going to be Josh Robinson, Tom Ogle, Brian Lynch. Robinson leads the way for that team. You have Track Auto Sport. It's not showing correctly, but Kyle Bowling and Timmy McNally are going to be both Track Auto Sport cars. The name doesn't match perfectly, so it's not going to list them both. HMS Hutchinson Motorsports. Chad White leads the way for them in 9th. Blake in 20th. Logan Festich in 21st. Those two have been around each other all night. Then finally, you got BCI here. JT Tinker, Aaron Poplin 16th and 26th. Then On the Throttle Racing, going to be William Duff, Larry Griffin the 3rd, and Ryan Lynch 14th, 19th, and 23rd respectively. Oh, and there's one more. Kyle McCoy and Nate Lynch, Cyhawk Motorsports. Two opposite ends of the spectrum here. Kyle McCoy leads the way. Nate Lynch down here in 25th. That was your team check-in for you folks. And as Connor cheers Blake on in the chat, as we're over the halfway point of this race here tonight, we're going to go ahead and step aside. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to miss a second of the action. We're going to go HMS TV side by side once again here tonight. Don't go anywhere. Kyle McCoy continues to lead the way. We'll be back. Words are hard. We'll be right back with you here shortly.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Back live here from Homestead, Miami, under the lights. Lap 91 of 133. As we look at Chad White in the 36, Hutchinson Motorsports TV driver. Wakes up every day surprised he still has a job. And folks, we got pit stops underway once again. Will Buster in the number 1 car comes down, along with Jason Gratton in that 46. A few other drivers have also come down pit road already. That's going to be Ben Shepard, Bryce Barfield, Brian Lynch, Doug Pierce, Nate Lynch, Ross Tatum have all made their stops already. The 21 of Tatum going to make it a 1 stop, or going to make it the rest of the way without another stop. Kyle McCoy continues to stay out, though. All sorts of drivers hitting pit lane.
Pitting.
That was the 34, Logan Festitian. Josh Robinson of the 30 going to be the next to come down, along with Aaron Poplin, who finds himself a lap down. That 63 car. Trey Jackson, Zach Kreitz also hit pit lane. This second pit cycle happening more in a big group, it seems like, compared to the previous one. It was kind of spread out for the first pit stop. These seem to be a little bit closer together. Blake Hutchison, you can see him there unlapping himself. He's already come down for his second stop just a couple of laps ago in that Facebook Marketplace machine. Let's get a closer look at this thing. Blake out of Murfreesboro, Illinois, usually on the microphone. Here in Stars and Stripes this season, he's in the car. And he's got quite a machine. Just about your top 10, or your top 9 rather, have stayed out. From Kyle McCoy to JT Tinker, Ross Tatum continues to lead the way out of cars that have already hit pit lane. And he's got almost a 5-second lead on his teammate Will Bustler. We'll have to see if any sort of pit strategy is going to get anyone an advantage over this 21 or Ross Tatum or not. But right now it seems like he's got the plan to get himself a big lead, and we'll see if he can hold on to it. Kyle McCoy, Scott Rickard hit pit lane. Tom Ogle, he's getting ready to come down.
11 pitting.
Gets that White Claw machine woed down and into pit lane. Brian Pachimi leads the way, along with Chad White, Gavin Salyer. Your 3 drivers that have stayed out so far. Brian Pachimi going to come down this time.
78 pitting.
Chad White going to follow him. That's going to leave the 18 of Gavin Salyer. He's coming down pit lane, so everybody's made their final stop of the race now. Ross Tatum leads the way, 4-second lead for the 21 of Ross Tatum. And while we wait to see if this thing's going to become a race here in the last 30 laps or so, I think it's time for the first time of the night that we go HMS TV. And we bring a little Harpoon Design action into it, and we go with a little bit of Bring the Noise. Get ready to crank it up at home, folks, because it's going to get loud. As we come back, we got a traffic jam going on here. 25 and Nate Lynch, 34 Logan Festitian, 23 Dylan Grimm all grouped together, kind of holding up traffic. Tom Ogle trying to find his way through, along with the 18 of Gavin Salyer, shooting down towards the bottom of the track. You're going to be 3 wide coming into turn 3. 25 and Nate Lynch backs out of that. He says he wants no part of that. We take a look at your situation for the lead. Ross Tatum leads the way. Connor Gerard says 21's out here playing chess while everyone's playing checkers. That's certainly the case here. And if you want to be playing chess, do I have the idea for you? And it's coming up in just a couple of weeks. February 6th, we're going to have an HMS TV marquee event. The Harpoon Design 500. 200 laps on tap at Daytona in the Gen 4 Cup cars. Going to be live on the channel. For more details, feel free to join the Discord. Link in the description. But, whoa, we got action. Josh Gratton had to get up out of there. Keeps it straight, though. We're going to go ahead and continue our promo. Make sure to tune into the Harpoon Design 200. And if you're interested in driving in it, spots are still open. $5 to enter. And you have the chance to win up to $125 worth of prizes for a $5 entry. We got payouts for the first, second, and third place finishers, and a random payout for a random driver in the field that's not in your top 3, as well as the most popular driver gets to get a free paint done by Harpoon Design, courtesy of HMS TV. So that's going to be a great time. I'm going to be out there in the car. That's the plan anyways. Doing 200 laps in a Gen 4 Cup car. Trying to take home my share of the prize money. Connor Gerard with a good point in chat. He's the honorable flag man for 1 yellow. That's absolutely correct. A little bit of a promoter's caution for Connor Gerard going to be happening. And Bryce Barfield in the 37, he's been having a rough night. Finds himself on pit lane for the 4th time here tonight. Almost running last. He's back there in 27th. Not a good night for the 37. He qualified well, and then he happened to be involved in the only incident of the night. Happened way back on lap 5, was our first and only caution. If you tune in about lap 8 or 9, you thought it stayed green. It stayed green the entire time. But we're getting down to the end of this thing. Ross Tatum leads the way. 27 laps to go, and Kyle McCoy in the number 7 is trying to hunt him down. He's gaining a lot of time. Corner by corner, he is gaining. You can see him there on the right side of your screen now, behind that Red Bull machine of Larry Griffin. And he's trying to reel in that number 21 car. In fact, we can take a look at it here as they cross the stripe. We can compare lap times. Once McCoy hits the line here, McCoy's last lap of 34.605 compared to Ross Tatum's time of a 35.02, so 4/10 quicker for the 7 of McCoy. It's only going to be a matter of time as he catches that 21 as he dives to the bottom to get past the 24. 24, that's going to be Brian Lynch. A little bit of lap traffic for the 7, and now he's got the 21 clearly in his sights. Let's ride on board with the 7 of McCoy. I feel like there's a chance that he's going to make this pass look easy. But with 24 to go, there's always the chance that we might end up with a battle on our hands. And I don't want to jinx it, but you got to remember there's always the chance of another caution. Nothing really changing here in your top 10 in the last couple of laps. But the lead definitely getting ready to change hands here. 21 of Ross Tatum getting ready to give the lead up to the 7 of McCoy any lap here. Or any minute, I should say. And they've got the GOAT Blake Hutchison in front of them there. McCoy, who's led 61 laps tonight, he's looking to lead some more. Blake Hutchison going a lap down now. About to be 3 wide with these leaders. They do get past him. McCoy not able to get the spot yet. He looks to the bottom. McCoy to the inside in turn 3. Going to make it look easy. Kyle McCoy takes the lead back over with 22 laps to go in the South Beach 200. And he's going to look to drive away. And we got it live on the radio, folks. Blake Hutchison with a question for your race leaders.
Hey, stick with me so I can get some TV time, boys.
He's getting his TV time right now, that's for sure. Take a look through the rest of the field, see if we got more battles out here. I believe this could be the closest battle we've got. Let's check out the HMS TV battle board. Oh, the best battle on the field, or on the track rather, Santa Field. Back here for 21st, that's Ryan and Brian Lynch dueling it out. 0.07 seconds the gap between those two right now. Ryan takes the spot, it looks like, over the 24. Another close one here. William Duff, Gavin Salyer scrapping it out for 13th. And then you got 16th going to be JT Tinker and Josh Gratton. Your 3 closest battles on the track here at the moment. But I think there's another one brewing. The one of Will Bustler, the 30 of Josh Robinson starting to reel him in. It's going to be your battle for 3rd. Robinson looking to find his way onto the podium. Connor Gerard, you have a good point saying we aren't even on a TV channel. You know what we need? And I don't know who to talk to do it, but if you have a smart TV, you have those free channels where it's not like any of the good channels, but it's kind of like just random TV shows might have their own channel where it just shows episodes of it over and over again. We need an HMS TV channel. Like, get that stuff on the smart TV where it just plays different HMS TV broadcasts throughout the day, just randomly. Connor says, we're on the only way to watch the HMS TV, and that's on YouTube. That's damn straight. I will say, though, still the world's #1 streaming service. What else we got going on through the field? Chad White trying to get by the 9 of Zach Kreitz. This is for 9th place. The 9 in 9th right now. Chad White trying to get by him, running that Larson line up top in his HMS TV Ford Mustang. Gets a run on the straightaway. The 9 going to cover the bottom up here into turn 1. Chad rips the wall once again. We'll see if he's able to carry the momentum off the corner and take the spot. Looks like he will. Chad White up into 9th. He's up 7 spots overall on the night. Gives a kind message to the driver of the 9, Zach Kreitz, saying thank you for the spot. Which I don't know if the 9 quite gave it to him there. A little bit of a battle brewing for 5th. Jason Gratton trying to hold off the GOAT, Scott Rickard. Rickard trying to add another top 5 to the resume after a win last week. Trying to start this season off as strong as he can. I gotta say, though, with 14 laps to go, if we don't have any changes here, Kyle McCoy going to take this one home easily. He's got a 2.7 second lead now over the rest of your field. Ross Tatum, you just barely saw him on the top of your screen here. He's got lap traffic breathing down his neck. That's the 34, Logan Festitian. Trying to draft with the 21. He actually gets him loose there. I think he might have packed some air underneath that 21. Ross Tatum might not be too appreciative of that. Connor says, literally anything can happen now, and that is the truth. All it takes is one mistake from somebody, and this is a whole new race. We'll see if we have any of those crucial mistakes. This battle's been brewing for quite a while now. Will Bustler, Josh Robinson. Josh just recently got by Bustler here in this last lap. Bustler trying to take the spot back, though. It's going to be a dogfight for the last spot on your podium between the 30 car and the 1 car here. It's coming down towards the end. 12 laps to go. Kyle McCoy, Ross Tatum, Josh Robinson, Will Bustler, Jason Gratton round out your top 5. Your GOAT, Scott Rickard, trying to find his way in the top 5, but currently sits 6th with Brian Pachimi 7th. Trey Jackson 8th. Chad White 9th. Zach Kreitz 10th. Rounding out your top 10. We recap on your biggest hard chargers of the night. Brian Pachimi leads that list up 21 spots. Sitting in that 7th spot currently. Jason Gratton, Josh Gratton, 14 and 13 spots gained respectively. And Josh Robinson and Will Bustler both have gained 9. Fastest 5 over the last 5 laps. Kyle McCoy. Unfortunately for everybody trying to chase him down, he's currently the quickest car out there from the lead. Brian Pachimi second quickest right now, followed by Timmy McNally, Josh Robinson, and Tom Ogle. White Claws must be kicking in, baby. Lead now up to 3.5 seconds from Kyle McCoy. It's about another 2.5 seconds back from Ross Tatum to 3rd place Josh Robinson, who's extended a gap now on the one of Will Bustler. Tom Ogle trying to reel in the 18 of Gavin Salyer. Gavin with a message for him on the radio.
Go away, Tom.
I don't know if Tom's going to listen to him. It looks like Tom's going to try to take that spot over. Battle for 13th getting ready to brew here. But we're still getting ready to have a battle for 5th on our hands. Scott Rickard wants that spot. He's trying to get it from the 46 of Gratton. Jason Gratton not going to give the top 5 up easily, though. 8 laps to go. He's got a while to hold him off here. We'll see if the 46 is able to do it. Out of Pittsfield, Illinois. As this race is winding down, and we watch this battle start for 5th place here. Recap your manufacturer standings. Chevy leads the way. 2 Toyotas in the field. 7 Fords have the worst average. Scott Rickard takes the 5th spot over past Jason Grattan. Grattan, though, with the momentum on the high side, that's not done yet. He had a good run out of the corner. He leads the way into turn 3. Scott Rickard has to send it back in on the bottom. But I think they're going to continue to stay side by side. You got lap traffic here, the 77, Larry Griffin. Is that going to play a factor? He's kind of running the middle of the lane. He's going to get stuck in the middle between these two. He goes up the track into the wall in front of the 46 of Jason Grattan. That ruins any battle that was brewing for 5th. That's going to be unfortunate for the 46. Looked like Larry Griffin just kind of cracked under the pressure there with those guys battling next to him, and he just gets up into the wall. He's still tagging the wall a little bit, but that's going to let Scott Rickard clearly get into 5th place now. 5 laps to go. Here in the South Beach 200, Kyle McCoy's lead up over 4 seconds. Your closest battle in your top 5 is still on your screen between Jason Grattan and Scott Rickard, although Scott Rickard continues to lead the way pretty handedly. Got a battle back here between Blake Hutchison and Ryan Lynch side by side. This is for your 19th spot. Blake's trying to take that from Ryan Lynch. With 4 laps to go. Comes into turn 1 right on his bumper. It's by far your closest battle on the track for sure right now. But we're getting ready to take 3 to go here. Kyle McCoy hoping that this thing continues to stay the same way it is and it stays green. 4.5 seconds is the lead. The last thing he wants to see is a yellow. Connor Gerard says 77's definitely going to get punched in the face in the garage area later. I don't know if it was that bad, but if you're the 46 of Jason Grattan, you're certainly wishing that things could have went a little differently there. McCoy takes the stripe for 2 to go. No real battles on the track right now. Everything's pretty spread out. Down the back stretch, heading towards the white flag. Kyle McCoy, no stranger to wins here in Stars and Stripes. All of last season, it was either him or Scott Rickard, it seemed, would take the win every week. White flag waving. 1 more lap to go here at Homestead, Miami. No caution will fly. And Kyle McCoy just has 2 more corners between him and his first victory here in season 12. Coming through turns 3 and 4. Second race of the season and first time this year, the 7 of Kyle McCoy going to take the checkered flag here at Homestead, Miami. 21 of Ross Tatum going to finish second. The 30 of Josh Robinson going to take the final spot of the podium. Will Bustler takes home 4th, and the GOAT Scott Rickard with a top 5 gets 5th. Brian Pashimi in the 78, 6th place. Jason Grattan, the 46, is up 7th. Trey Jackson, 8th. Chad White, 9th. And Zach Kreitz rounds out tonight's top 10. And Kyle McCoy in the 7, he gets to celebrate the first win of the season for him, and I'm sure there's more to come. Connor Gerard says McCoy better at least get a picture of Spider-Man. Let's get an up-close shot on this thing as he burns it down. Congratulations to Kyle McCoy. Has some people joining him for burnout celebrations. All of HMS TV out there just getting in Kyle's way. Blake's question to the other drivers out there.
Can we burn out for top 20s?
I don't think you're supposed to, Blake, but I mean, I guess you can just do what you want. But we're going to go ahead and check out this results page as Kyle McCoy does a Polish victory lap. We go to the scenic cameras here at Homestead, Miami, and let's see. Let's try this theme here. Here's your results for tonight's race. Kyle McCoy, Ross Tatum, Josh Robinson, of course, on your podium. Hard charger was Brian Pachimi, up 22 spots. Kyle McCoy, most laps led. Fastest lap was Ross Tatum. Only one caution for 3 laps and 13 green flag lead changes. It was certainly a fun race. Pit strategy played an important role. But folks, it's time to go ahead and start talking to some of your podium finishers here. I believe I can move people. Yes, I can. Thank God. First on the list, man finishing third. Let's see if we can get him a sponsor here. Josh, it's Jesse up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
It's going good, man. You bring home a third place finish. You were up front a whole lot of the night. Following a pretty good run at Talladega, you bring home a top 3 here. How's it feel, man? Go ahead and walk us through that race for you tonight.
It was, I don't know what I was doing in that first stint. It took me way too long to get rolling. And then once I did get rolling, Kyle and Ross and Will and those guys had a little bit too much of a gap. I feel like I caught my stride a little too late, but even if I caught my stride earlier, Kyle was running such a great pace. It was going to be extremely hard to beat him. He was class of the field tonight.
Yeah, it seems to either be Kyle McCoy or Scott Rickard's going to be the class of the field most of the time. Those two always battling last year, and it looks like it's going to continue into this year. And another good race for them, but a pretty good race for you too. And I got to ask, man, I didn't broadcast a lot of last year, but you're coming in here with this Xfinity car, plain like sky blue number 30 car, got no sponsors on the thing. What's the deal with that? Are we looking for sponsors? Are we trying to make a deal? What's going on?
Yeah, I ran in some seasons before, and then we took last season off. But no, I like a clean car. That is, it might look like it's plain and simple, but put a lot of work into that because I am not a very good painter.
Yeah, I do see the nice touch. You got the stripe going on along the bottom of the side of the car there. Definitely a nice detail. And I gotta say, at least you got some color on it. At least you got some color on it. I think it's the 46th of Jason Gratton. I mean, he's just rolling out there with just a black car with what looks like yellow duct tape on the side of it for the numbers. So you're at least doing a step better than him. But I mean, maybe throw one or two sponsors on there maybe sometime.
Jason and I had some side-by-side battling tonight, so that's going to look real good on the broadcast. And when I was beside him, I was appreciating the nice car he had there.
I hear you, man. Well, congratulations on the podium here tonight. If you've got any shout-outs here, go ahead and let them know.
Just want to thank the guys for putting on the league with Nate and Brian. It's a lot of work to keep these things going. And then, we only had one caution second week out at Homestead with the car that was a little loose early on. So good job to the field. It was a pretty fun race. And then again, congrats to Kyle and Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Great drive tonight. Congratulations on the podium finish, Josh Robinson.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You as well, bud. Let's go ahead and find the man that finished second if he is in the Discord. Not seeing him. If Ross Tatum, if you're listening, man, go ahead and join the waiting room. If I see you before we get done hear the stream, I'll bring you in so you can talk to the people at home. But I know who I do see, and that's the man that brought the win home. That's going to be Kyle McCoy. Let's go ahead and bring him on in. Kyle, it's Jesse up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Hey, man, I got you.
Bringing home the win. 82 laps led on the night. Dominant performance for you here. Go ahead and walk us through that race for you.
Yeah, pretty pumped about that one. Homestead is a place where you either have a pace or you don't, and I've been 50-50 in my races here, so it's nice to have some tonight. And once you kind of settle out where you're at, it's really just about the pit strategy and making sure that when those guys came in, I had them covered off by enough laps that I didn't get behind them and didn't, have a tire stall out or anything get stuck behind them. To have enough tire difference to make the passes back was the big difference. So huge shout out to everybody in here. I think we had one caution and the rest went clean and green, which I love to see. And it worked out kind of perfect tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the tire strategy, and it was definitely a big factor. I mean, Ross Tatum, he kind of went with the early pit strategy, and he'd come out from the pit cycle with these huge leads, like 4 or 5 second leads. And it's like, wow, he really played that well. But then over the course of the run, you just slowly just reel him back in once the tires start getting worn. Definitely lots of fall off here, and it seems like this track fits certain people. There's like it takes a certain style of drive to be good here. It eats tires. You got to know how to save them. And I'd say you probably were one of the best here to do that tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's absolutely tire safe. I mean, that's what this place is all about. And like you said, Ross would kind of pit early and made me a little nervous because he got out to those big leads, but there's so much fall off that you end up bringing it back, and then some in this car on the back end of those runs that made it kind of just had to have it play out, right? You couldn't have a caution on lap 110 and have everybody restack. That was the only thing I was worried about. It's a fun place to race. I wish you could run the top here. It's not in there right now, but one day I'm sure it will be. You got to be able to save tires. I think there's definitely some small car adjustments you can make to help yourself out there too. And I feel like I spent some time and just got in the right place there and had my setup right and had my kind of spots labeled out. And as soon as that happened, I knew kind of what pace I needed to run, and it ended up working out tonight.
Yeah, very good run for you, taking home the win. I do have to mention one more thing before we get to the shout-outs, that the HMS TV superfan himself, Connor Gerard, was absolutely digging the Spider-Man 2's paint scheme tonight. So, great job with that one.
Heck yeah, shout out to Connor. He's been checking us out for a while now, so I appreciate that. And I spent a lot of time on that, so I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, if you've got any shout-outs you want to go ahead and make before I send you back to celebrate, go ahead and let them rip, man.
Yeah, shout out to everybody out there watching. I think my girlfriend and some of my family is watching out there, so appreciate all that. Appreciate the support. It's fun to have people checking in on you anyway. Shout out to my teammates, Scott, Brian, and Kyle. They all ran really well tonight, and we got some strategy things I think to work through on some of these mile and a halves, but for the most part, we ran pretty well, and really happy with that. And shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's fun to have Blake out there in the mix. He gets kind of report a little bit from the inside, so to speak. So that's kind of fun. And we appreciate you putting this on every week. Really excited that you get to show a live showing, and definitely excited to be in the front of it. So appreciate everything you guys do. Appreciate the league with Nate and everything they go with too. So just a fun night overall.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to try to be live whenever we can. It's not something that can be promised. But definitely glad to do it when I can. And I got to say one more time, just congratulations to you on the perfect performance here at Homestead, taking home the win. Strong start to season number 12 for you. Congratulations once again, Kyle McCoy.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. We'll see you at Richmond, and there's no shot it goes this way again.
No, man, I can't wait. Richmond is going to be a blast.
We'll see you next week, man.
Thank you. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Here at Homestead, Miami, Stars and Stripes Racing, South Beach 200 has been completed. Kyle McCoy comes out on top. That's going to do it here for Hutchison Motorsports TV. I'm Jesse Becker on the call. Shout out Connor Girard. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Hit that subscribe button and check out the Discord. And if you're a driver out there and you're trying to win some money, go ahead and join the Discord and get signed up for the Harpoon Design 500, happening February 6th. I'm Jesse Becker signing out, and see you next time.
Right there with him. Smokes him. Oh my goodness! Oh! The whole field is junk! It's a parking lot! They door slam each other! Checkered flag in the air! It's gonna be too close to call! Oh, he just got smoked! Oh my goodness! Turned! He got dumped in the IMSA racing! Caution is out. We saw a lot. Oh!